All right, so let's go and look at what we got accomplished last time. This is with the bumper cleaned up, finished up in the rear. As you can see, looks pretty sharp. Flush mount, I like it. Looks good. Cables come out on the other side. We'll wire them up a little bit later. But let's go look at where we're going to put the next set of lights. We're going to put them on the front there. GoPro, stop recording. Alright, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be designing the reverse light switch for the LED, or LEDs. And basically we're going to start with a hot ignition wire. When the ignition switch is on, that will close, and in normal operation, when we put the shifter into reverse for the transmission, it will close the switch and turn the rear LEDs on. However, we want the option to also be able to run a manual override. And so with the ignition switch on, manual override will be on the dash, and we'll be able to force the LEDs on. So that way, if we need spotlights or work lights in the back of the vehicle at night, we can do that. So basically, this is what we're going to run. And don't trash talk me on the internet, but this is what I like to use. And I've been in the industrial electrical world for quite a while, and I've seen industrial machines, the PTO boats of Vietnam, all those were wired with heavy-duty SOJ cord. And the best option that I've found to get these things at an affordable price is to get a long extension cord. Now, of course, you're going to want to fuse it, protect it so that it doesn't, if it should short out or overload, that it doesn't burn things up. But this is a smoking deal. This is heavy SOJ cord that you can, of course, you're going to tie it up and put it in a position where it's not going to get damaged, but it will last for a long time, and it's easy to work with. So I'm going to use this SOJ cord to run the circuits to the rear tail lights and also the LEDs in front. Now I am going to use, in both cases, I am going to use a relay. So the relay is going to actually be carrying the heavier load and it'll go in through these wires here. But a relay is basically an electromechanical switch that you use because you don't want all those amps going through signal wires, etc. So you use a signal wire to turn the electromechanical relay on, and that puts power to your devices. So I'm going to use this. I've used it in the past. It really works well. And so let's get started. All right, so this is what we're planning on doing here. I had to create some references. This is where the edge, where it starts to pivot in, and then there's a bracket behind here, so I have to miss that bracket. And basically what we came up with is we came from a 1/2 inch down from this edge, because this edge is consistent, this edge tapers, and we're going to use this template to basically mark that, and I'll drill 4 holes, cut that out with an angle grinder and clean it up, and we'll get busy on getting it fitted. Shouldn't be too hard. Okay, we had the cutouts done, and I've ground down the Bondo, the filler that I had on there before to make everything smooth. That way I can drill and tap the holes, and then we'll be able to mount these things up after I get it refinished again. So this is where we got. I test fitted the lights and everything. Then I put on some Bondo. I'm going to sand that down. Going to knock this rust off and repaint. That's some boring stuff there, so I don't think you guys need to see it. So once I get that done, I'll come back and start video. All right, this is where we're at. We've gotten to the point where it's done. Now, I did not pull the bumper off and completely strip it and repaint it. Didn't want to do that because that's a lot of work. However, I got it. I stopped the rust from forming on the top, cleaned up the bumper from where I cut the hole in it, and this is 1/4 inch steel here in the front, so it's pretty thick. And next shot I'll have is with everything mounted up, and we'll get started on the wiring. All right, so now we're working on the front LEDs. It's going to be a similar circuit. We're going to be taking the signal from the ignition on, and I don't know how many of you guys caught this, but I didn't draw the relay coil and the relay in the last circuit. But because we want to use these as daytime running lights, and even at night, we're going to have them on every time the ignition turns on. So we're going to pick up here off the ignition switch, ignition hot, pull in relay C2, relay C2 contacts close, and turn on the front LEDs. And if you look, I put C1 and C1A as the contacts for the previous relay. And let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. We're in the process of wiring up the front right now, but if you look real close, yep, we got them in there. They look good. I created a wiring harness that runs across the bottom of the bumper there, but it's tucked up out of the way so it won't get cut when going over rocks or debris. The SO cable is coming out here, and I'm going to put a relay, this relay, on the fender well, and like I said, as soon as ignition is hot, those lights will come on. All right, so what we've got is we've got it running with the daytime running lights. Basically, the lights will come on in the front anytime the ignition's on. So I'll jump in the vehicle, start it up, and you'll see it. See it! See it go! Okay, and this is the control relay right here. It do say LEDs on it, and that SO cord comes up into here. All right, let's check it out. Fire in the hole! That didn't work at all. It worked when I tested it, but on video. All right, I'm not sure if the volume came in or not. So, take two. All right, so it's ready to go. Daytime running lights are operational. Let me go ahead and start it up and show you how it works. Awesome! All right, so now we got to wire up the back. That's going to be a little bit more involved because I got a longer way to go. All right, we have the opportunity. I'm putting together a 1-ton steering system for a customer, and this gives me the opportunity to showcase that a little bit here and kind of go through the process of how I put one of these together. So basically what we've got, I've already put the inserts in, welded those in, and now that I'm cleaned those up so that the welds are nice and flat, makes it look better. And what I'm going to do next, and I'm surprised that everybody on YouTube that builds these systems doesn't mention this, but the heat of welding these inserts in distorts the threads. So before I ship any of my steering systems out, I chase the threads with a tap to make sure that your tie rod ends will be able to go in. These are very, very finicky because these inserts are made of a different alloy, and they are prone to galling. It's almost, they're actually worse than stainless steel. So you have to apply a liberal amount of anti-seize to the inserts so that they don't gall on the tie rod ends when you go to install them. I pack these with never seize, but in the future, if you're ever pulling one apart and putting it back together, make sure you use a liberal amount of never seize. But this unit here comes with a steering stabilizer bracket and all the heavy-duty tie rod ends. Now the tie rod ends have the same taper as our Jeep tie rod ends do. However, the body is much heavier and stronger than what Jeep provided. So with these heavy-duty bars, the inserts, the heavy-duty tie rod ends, and also understand that our tie rod ends are mounted above the knuckle, and so the insert will go on this side for the drag link. All right, I'm going to get this, I'm going to chase these threads and get it painted, and we'll take another picture. All right, so this is what it looks like after I get it painted and set up. Like I said, I chase all the threads, so it will go back together for the customers without any issues. It's full of never seize, so you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, it's a good looking system, and I know that you can maybe hunt down the original OEM parts, and that's still going to cost you close to $400. I know that there are some companies that are making OME replacements, but those, I've seen those listed at $450. So for $450, you can get this kit, which is heavier, stronger, and you won't have to ever buy these long pieces again. You will only have to buy the tie rod ends, which are about 50 bucks a piece. So in the long run, it's less expensive, and in the short run, it's the same cost. So this is a great kit, and this is what I'm going to ship it in. This is seems to be the best way to do it. It can get basically across country for less than 100 bucks shipping and handling. All right. I waited until it was dark so that it's more pronounced. And when we check out the rear, first it'll be in reverse and then it'll be manually operated. There we go, manual operation. And reverse lights. Cool, cool. It's done, finally done. All right, so what are we going to do next time? Give me a little bit of time and we'll decide, and I'll get back to you.